Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Sustainability Channel. I'm Thomas Stanley and I will be your host. And in today's news update, let's start by having a look at Harvard Law School Forum on Corporate Governance. We have an article on the 7 key trends in ESG for 2023 and what to expect in 2024. After years of buzz in business circles, ESG seemed to have lost some of its shine in 2023, they are saying here. We saw a host of new state laws looking to limit its use. Mentions of ESG in earnings calls dropped to their lowest levels since 2020. Governors from 19 states joined an anti-ESG coalition, and conservative members of Congress dubbed July ESG Month, as they held hearings and advanced bills aimed at limiting ESG-based investing. And this is something we have been reporting about earlier on this channel. And it's interesting that the Harvard Law School Forum is also bringing this up. But in their view, the market pullback on ESG is a natural and anticipated course correction, rather than a death knell. ESG is growing up and challenging the corporate and financial sectors to grow with it. As 2023 comes to a close, they are examining the 7 key trends that shaped ESG and sustainability this year and share what they expect and anticipate for 2024. And we are bringing up the most important ones here. On the first place, they have the anti-ESG state lawmaking surges that we have been talking about. And anti-ESG lawmaking efforts, which first emerged as a trend in 2021, reached new heights this year with over 150 anti-ESG bills and resolutions introduced in 37 states. But most of these bills were rejected or failed to advance. On second place here, California leads the charge on new ESG laws, including climate disclosure. Against the backdrop of state anti-ESG activity, California forged ahead with extensive new ESG-related disclosure requirements through the passage of 4 laws with broad application to public and private companies. On the third place, the SEC advances on ESG but continues to delay major climate rules. During the first 2 years of President Biden's administration, the SEC had indicated a strong focus on ESG, creating the Climate and ESG Task Force within the Division of Enforcement and issuing extensive proposed rulemaking relating to greenhouse gas emission disclosure, ESG-related fund disclosure obligations, the naming of green investment funds, and cybersecurity risk management. And on fourth place, the EU's CSRD sets a broad new standard. The European Commission first adopted a legislative proposal for a corporate sustainability reporting directive, CSRD, in April 2021. But it wasn't until the Commission's adoption of detailed European Sustainability Reporting Standards, ESRS, in July of 2023, that the regime, which starts to apply on the 1st of January this year, and its implications for multinational companies, come squarely into focus. So read this article more in detail at home. This is really interesting, and they have a lot of more information and things to look forward to this year. And right now, the World Economic Forum is having its annual meeting in Davos, and they are writing this article on climate, nature, and energy at Davos 2024. A long-term strategy for climate, nature, and energy is one of the key themes at the World Economic Forum's annual meeting in Davos. Swift and decisive leadership, as well as urgent action, is needed to combat the climate crisis and ensure energy security. Davos 2024 will bring leaders together to discuss ways to ensure a long-term future that is inclusive, net zero, and nature positive. And the forum's Global Risk Report in 2024 finds that environmental risks make up half of the top 10 risks over the next 10 years, with extreme weather events, critical change to Earth systems, biodiversity loss, and ecosystem collapse being the top 3. So this is something to keep a look at and see what the results will be after the annual meeting. And we have information from China. Liu Zhenmin appointed as China's new special envoy for climate change. And to implement the consensus reached at the China-US summit in San Francisco to collaborate on addressing climate change, the 21st Century Climate Action Work Group between China and the US was successfully organized via a video conference. But due to health reasons, Xi Jinping has stepped down from his position as China's special envoy for climate change, and Liu Zhenmin, former Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, has been appointed as Xi's successor. This means that Liu will be responsible for handling climate change-related affairs, representing China in international cooperation and negotiations. He is expected to continue to promoting cooperation between China and the US in the field of climate change and maintain close contact with his US counterpart, John Kerry, and other US representatives, working together to advance actions on climate change. But the latest news from US is, in an article from the Politico, John Kerry to step down as Biden climate envoy. The veteran diplomat helped craft the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement and more recently led the US team at COP28 in Dubai. Kerry's departure from the position comes just weeks after he led the US negotiating team at the UN Climate Conference in Dubai, where countries for the first time agreed to work towards transitioning away from using fossil fuels in the coming decades. The news was first reported by Axios, which said Kerry plans to help Biden's re-election campaign. So this was everything from today. Over and out, and live a sustainable life.